Alrighty, guys. All Facts Media is here live with an exclusive interview, and I am Aaron Robinson, joined by my twin brother Andrew Robinson, and we're pleased to have another, fellow DMV guy, our guy Rowan Brumbaugh, the newest Texas men's basketball commit. So, Rowan, man, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem, man. So, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, man. Obviously, for those who don't know, I mentioned earlier, Rowan recently committed to Texas men's basketball. Obviously, there's a student up at Northfield Mount Herman. Drew and I also have some experience playing up there. We played for Putnam Science Academy, and I know they're getting ready to play Northfield in a little bit here. So we'll talk a little bit about that later, man. But for those who don't know you, man, just kind of describe your journey. You talked a little bit before the interview about kind of born in New York, and then obviously moved to Mass and moved down to DMV for a little bit, and obviously now you're Texas commit, man. So for the viewers, man, kind of walk us through your journey, kind of growing up and what brought you here today.
Yeah, so I'm from New York City originally, and then I moved to Massachusetts. My parents wanted kind of like a environment for like a more kid-friendly environment, so I moved there. And then I came down to DC. My dad got a job, and I've been here since 6th grade. And then after my freshman year at St. Albans, which is an all-boys school in DC, I went up to Northfield Mount Herman. My mom went there, and I just thought it was a perfect basketball fit for me wanting to play at the next level and all the above. So I made that move, and I've been there ever since.
You mentioned your time, obviously, playing Albans, man, and obviously the DMV is one of the best basketball areas, in the country, man. Just talk about, what your time was like in the DMV. Kind of what do you remember most? I seen some footage you playing down there in the farms.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, you tapped in, man. But just talk about what that was like, man. Just playing back here, in arguably one of the best hoop areas in the country.
No, well, I always love playing. I've been with my trainer, like one of my coaches, name's Coach Doug, since like 6th grade. And he's taken me everywhere from like all these different parks, all these different gyms, to the farms, to everywhere. So I've like seen a lot of DMV basketball, even though I don't go to school here. But like growing up in the DMV, it's definitely been great for my development too. Just playing against all different types of kids, all different types of, different types of games and stuff, and seeing everything, and just learning how to get a bucket on your own. All comes from the DMV. So it's been a great experience.
Now, watching your Instagram, obviously, the footage down in the farm, there was currently Luka out there, obviously compared to Luka Doncic, man. But for those who haven't seen you play, man, kind of describe your game a little bit. Obviously, you're a great passer, great scorer with some great size as well, man. But, I mean, for those who don't know you, man, kind of describe your game, and how would you kind of compare your game if you had to put a name to it?
Well, I would say I'm like a pass-first point guard who, like, can score if they need to, but I just want to win. So, like, if my teammate's hot, like, I'm going to him. If I'm hot, I'm getting myself. So I have a complete game in that aspect. But I would definitely say I'm a pass first, like, make all different types of passes, and just a leader who wants to win and wants to see my guys succeed. And I feel like I make my teammates around me, like, much better players. So I would say those are my strong suits. And then, yeah, like, as a player comparison, I feel like I play a lot like Luke Ridnour. He played at Oregon. He's in the NBA now, or he played in the NBA, but I see myself a lot in his game. But yeah, I also just feel like I play like myself too. Like,
that's a deep cut right there, man. That's a deep cut, Luke Ridnour, man. Shoot. Hey, listen, I think for all listeners, man, I mean, that shows that you're definitely a student of the game, you know what I'm saying, with the Luke Ridnour deep cut, because most people, I feel like casual basketball fans don't really know who that even is. So if y'all don't know who Luke Ridnour is, man, make sure y'all go ahead and watch some film, for sure.
Yeah, he's
definitely nice, man. But gotta ask you, man, obviously, you were committed to Northwestern, recently opened up your recruitment and decided to commit to Texas. Now, obviously, you are a top 100 recruit, and I know you probably had a lot of schools that reached out to you, throughout your recruitment process. What stuck out about Texas that made you want to call Austin home for your next 4 years?
Well, they were always one of my top schools. I never got a chance to visit. And for me, what really just pulled the plug for me, I mean, talking to Chris Beard over the summer, they started recruiting me late first off, so I didn't really get the full thing. And I was kind of tired of the recruitment process, so I didn't really get the full field. But looking back on it, I obviously made a mistake in that aspect. But whenever I would talk to Chris Beard, it was just like everything I ever wanted. Like, he's a straight up basketball junkie. He just wants to win, and those are all the values I'm about. And he instills that in the program. So that's just everything I've ever wanted, and just the culture and the development and just the grind down there. Like, that's just everything I've ever wanted to be a part of. So it really just pushed the button for me, and I knew that's what I wanted to be.
Now, when you committed to Texas, I read a couple of quotes that Jeff Odell had put out. You talked about being able to go in there and earn it, right? And obviously, you know, most people when they're top 100 recruits, they want to go, they want to, you know, hear, oh, we're going to come in here and be the man. I'm coming here and take X amount of shots and play X amount of minutes. But, you know, what was Chris Beard telling you as far as, you know, your role coming in? And obviously, you know, you have the mentality that you want to come in and earn it. I mean, what are you looking forward to kind of getting there from a basketball standpoint and proving to everybody who might have some doubts about you?
Well, of course, I love the doubt because, I mean, little do they know, that's just more motivation. That actually pushes me more than, like, some, like, applause or approval. So, but with that, like, Chris Beard, of course, like, he just keeps repeating, like, there's a big opportunity. Guards are leaving. There's no true point guard in the system. So there's clearly an opportunity for me. But, like, I mean, nothing's promised. Like, also, I won't want to go somewhere where it's, like, we're going to play you 20 minutes next year. Like, you're going to be this. Because, like, what if I go there and I suck? Like, that's not true. Like, you got to earn that shit. Like, so that's just my whole philosophy. Like, I just want to go in like a dog and just earn everything, because then it's fake if it's, like, just, like, through the phone. Like, you're going to play 20 minutes or whatever. Like, then it just won't be real. And I want it to be real and, like, really earn something. So that's how I'm looking at it.
And obviously, you know, throughout the history, you know, Chris Beard, even from his time at Texas Tech, you know, getting guys in the transfer portal, you know, Matt Moody, Tariq Owens. This year they bring in Marcus Carr, a lot of guys in the portal, Trey Mitchell, Dylan Disu, list goes on and on. How did you factor that into your decision? Like, all right, you know, in the one hand, you know, a lot of coaches are getting guys out of the portal, and there are also coaches who kind of get freshmen right out of the bat and kind of develop them over the first 4 years. So how did you kind of factor that into your decision to commit to Texas when, you know, it's a program and a coach that's known to kind of go into the portal and bring in players?
I looked at that a lot, but, I mean, I feel like, you know, where I want to be, like, which is the NBA, of course, like, there's going to be competition wherever. So, I mean, if I'm good enough, like, I'm going to be good enough. So, like, none of the transfer stuff should matter. So that's how I look at it. I just got to keep getting better. And I feel like it just takes what it takes. Like, I mean, of course, the spot is really important, but I feel like if you're good enough, like, they're going to find you, regardless of the people ahead. But, I mean, that was a big factor in my decision. I looked at it, but, like, I want to be going against the best every day in practice. I want to keep getting better. So, like, that really didn't get to me like that.
Now, you mentioned, obviously, how you know, doubters fuel you. And obviously, when you announced the commitment to Texas, I scrolled through some of the replies, people talking about, oh, like, he's not anything, or he's not this, he's not that, and you were liking a lot of those replies. I mean, where does that come from? You know, like where did you kind of get that edge? And you know, how do you kind of use that to your advantage nowadays?
Well, I just feel like I've been overlooked forever. And this summer I kind of, like, broke out, and I was just, like, had that, like, killer mentality. And that's still with me, but, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, sometimes, like, it does fade, like, when you get, like, all this recognition and stuff, and that's why I don't, like, love, like, looking at that stuff, like, even though I do, it, like, sometimes fades, but I just feel like I've been overlooked forever, and, like, when they see, like, just be honest, like, when they see, like, a white point guard with all this stuff, they're gonna be like, what the hell, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially, like, I don't have, like, a traditional, like, white game, you know what I'm saying? Like, just be honest. So, like,
What's wrong with you?
Nah, exactly. So, like, honestly, like, I have to, like, just prove myself, and, like, I can't ever look scared or, like, like, I just have to be that dog, or else I'm just gonna get thrown in the trash. So,
yeah. Now, one thing I always respected, you know, about Chris Beard, man, and you know, he's a guy that won. You know, his teams always play hard. You know, they defend, but you know, this year at Texas, I'm really seeing him trying to, you know, go in there and build a program. I mean, I saw there was a guy wearing, like, a camo shirt in the crowd that was going crazy. He brought him into the locker room, had him talking to the team. He's talking about now he's going to do these giving students mimosas at games to kind of get involved at Texas. You know, what does that mean to you to kind of be coming to a program and playing for a coach like Chris Beard, who's clearly trying to develop a program and develop a culture, you know, around Texas basketball?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, of course, part of it. Like, I mean, you obviously want to go somewhere that, like, the school, like, loves the basketball team and cares about the basketball team. But that, I feel like that's, like, stems from winning. But, yeah, I mean, this is first year on the job, and they're obviously already a fringe top 10 team, and they're only going up. So, I mean, that's just another plus to me. So that's awesome.
Now, obviously, you made the move from St. Albans to Northfield Mount Herman. And I know for me and Drew, when we were obviously we played in Montgomery County at Springbrook High School, and having that ability to go up there to Putnam and play. Obviously, Drew and I were teammates with Hamidou Diallo, but we had a bunch of other players that were high major and that were mid major, a bunch of D1 players, and obviously had an opportunity to play against. Every game up there in New England, you're playing against top 100, top 50 players, D1 players every game. So how was that move kind of able to help your game and over the past 2 years that you've been up there at Northfield?
Well, I would say everyone thinks like DMV got the best basketball, like, which it does in a sense, but like the NEPSAC, in my eyes, like is a much better, especially the AAA, like the conference that Putnam NMH is in, is a much better conference than the WCAC, just because of like a lot of kids up there, like I'm still 17, like I didn't reclass, but like all the kids up there, like there are a lot of post grads, so they're like physically more developed and older. So they get the extra year edge. But it's also just as good as the DMV, and it's a much more like college prep type of take from a lot of those schools. So I felt it was perfect, and like especially from NMH, like NMH really prepares you for college. So like I want to be ahead of the course of other freshmen coming in or whatever, but just in general, just be ready.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a really great point, and I think it takes a person that had kind of been in both places to kind of make that distinction. I remember, I mean, like, I think you hit it right on the head, man. When you're playing against, in post-grad, you're playing against, the Brewsters and the Tillmans, guys are like legitimately like 19, 20 years old, from 18 to 20 years old up there playing postgraduate basketball. And I remember, we're playing against Brewster. They got Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Adams and Justin Simon. Played against Till, and they had Terrence Mann. And NMH had Kellen Grady's at Kentucky right now. Obviously, we had Hamidou Diallo who's on our team. And, like, every game you play up there is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even we went to played against Hargraves. Like, they had top 100 guys. IMG had Jaquan Lyle and a bunch of other guys. Like, I mean, the bump up there just in prep school basketball in general is great, man. So, I mean, I can definitely appreciate that comment. I think a lot of people don't really understand that, though. It's like if you speak down on WCAC, it's like, everybody's going crazy. It's not even speaking down on it. It's just like, yo, like the NEPSAC is crazy. The Brewsters, the Tillmans, the NMHs, even the schools in AA. Like when you're
obviously when AJ was there, and obviously Bremer had AJ Reeves when we were there. And
crazy.
It was crazy.
And Redemption, like South Kent, they've had tons of pros too. Like it's just the list goes on.
Yeah, South Kent. I remember we were there. They had Tremont Ward. This man had like 30 and 10. We played him in games at the buzzer. They was working though, but that story for another day.
What's his name? Miles Powell?
What'd you say?
Wasn't Miles Powell there too?
Miles Powell was the year after that. Yeah.
Oh.
Our team, it was when we were there with Tremont Waters and a kid named Travis Ashton. He was at Tulsa. He went to Christ the King from New York too.
But the next year they had Miles Powell, Tremont Waters, and they had comes from Syracuse that went to ECU that transferred.
Elijah. Yeah.
He's in the league now, playing for Jazz.
Elijah
Hughes. Yep. So they had a mob the next year. So I mean, NEPSAC is crazy. NEPSAC is definitely crazy.
I wanted to ask you, man. Obviously, you talked a lot about basketball and obviously NMH Texas, man. What do you like to do when you're not playing basketball? What do you do when you're not on the court, man? What shows you watching, man? What do you like when you're not dribbling the basketball?
I mean, basketball is pretty much it, but I mean, I'm starting to read a little more. I'm definitely getting into reading more. I watch like watching like horror movies or comedy, so like one of the two. But really basketball is just it.
For sure. I gotta ask you, man, because this is kind of has been a big thing, within the DMV circles, man. Obviously, like you mentioned, you were only here for a short time, but for the area, man, obviously, when you time being down here with Doug and St. Albans, obviously people in the area have been like, yo, man, that's one of our guys, man. But one of the big topics has been this recruiting thing. Obviously, over the years, Hunter Dickinson obviously made this big deal about Maryland not recruiting him, and the local schools, Maryland and Georgetown, like how they don't necessarily do a quote unquote good job recruiting the area. For you, obviously, you're a kid who was in the top 100 recruit. I know you had plenty of suitors. How did that, factor into your decision? Like, as far as the area schools, like, were they involved in your recruitment process, and kind of how did you weigh that as far as the Georgetowns and the Marylands and George Masons and the schools like that into your process? Because obviously you elected to go away from home, for college.
Yeah, so, I mean, I always really like Georgetown. They're my first Power 5 offer, and I love the staff over there. And they recruited me really well over the summer. I took an official there. So I feel like they did a great job. It just didn't end up working out. I think Maryland, on the other hand, they came in a little late for me. But still, like, I still love their staff, and they were great people over there. So I wouldn't say they necessarily, like, missed on me or, like, any of that. But it just didn't work out for me. But I do think they did do a good job of recruiting me. Like, Turgeon and you, and they would call me all the time over the summer. So I felt like they did do a good job recruiting me.
Now, heading into your last year, obviously, high school basketball, heading into college, I mean, what are some things that you kind of want to work on and sharpen up in your game as you head to Texas next year?
I think it's about, like, a lot of things I need to work on and really sharpen up. Definitely my lateral quickness and my defense, just making sure I'm, like, just lateral and not reacting on everything. And then I would definitely say just having a really consistent jump shot off the catch and shoot. And then just overall getting stronger and getting more athletic. And then, of course, just polishing my strengths. But I would say those are definitely my weaknesses as of now that I need to keep getting better at.
Now, when you look at the Big 12 right now, Baylor's the #1 team in the country, defending national champions. You got Kansas, who's, probably the best team in the Big 12 historically, as far as the amount of times they've won the Big 12 and things like that. They have a National Player of the Year candidate right now in Ochai Agbaji. What are you most looking forward to coming into this conference next year at Texas? Obviously, like you mentioned, Texas is the top 10 team in its own right. But what are you most looking forward to about playing in the Big 12 next year?
Just in and out, like day in, day out grind. Like, no game is a pass. Like, everyone's legit this year. Like, I think the Big 12 is like in a league of its own this year. Like, Iowa State, everyone's good. So just that, like, constant, like, no days off type of vibe. Like, I'm just super excited for that. And then not like Texas being an underdog, just myself kind of being an underdog. Like, not like a top 30 recruit, any of that. Just like keeping that chip on my shoulder and just showing the world what I can do. So that's what I'm most excited for, I'd say.
You mentioned we have to underdog mentality has kind of been a theme. You didn't play EYBL, you didn't play Adidas, you didn't play Under Armour. I mean, what about that kind of turned you off? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you had teams hitting you up every summer trying to get you to play with them. So, I mean, what was your reasoning for not going that route and kind of being the guy that, did it a different way? And now you're obviously still ended up top 100, Big 12 commit.
I would just say the loyalty part hit it for me. Like, I feel like kids are more loyal to, like, a brand nowadays. Or like why would I go play with some, like, 20-year-old with, like, a Nike check or, like, Adidas that, like, I don't even know or hasn't, like, developed me just because of the name. Like, I want to stay with the guy that's, like, took me through and developed me and been in the gym with me every day. And that was my AU coach. So that's what I thought was the best. And it ended up working out for me. So I just went off loyalty instead of, like, check or something.
Sure. Now, man, we're gonna play a little game, man. It's called This or That, man. You got to get your taste on a couple of things, man. So you walk into the carryout, man, DMV, man. You just came out the gym. We know you're eating healthy nowadays, but let's say hypothetically, you're going to the carryout, get some mumbo sauce, you know what I'm saying? You throwing the mumbo sauce on the fries or the chicken?
Definitely the chicken. Definitely the
chicken. Okay, all right. Now, in terms of music, man, who you rocking with? Lil Baby or Lil Durk?
I would say Lil Baby, but I went to Lil Durk's concert and that was fun.
So okay. Hey, listen, I can't get mad at you for that because Durk came to our homecoming at Coppin and he was rocking.
Lil Baby had the game in a chokehold, though, man. So you can't really go wrong with either one of those.
But Young Boy's still my favorite by far.
Yo, my man, a Young Boy. No, I picked a few Young Boy songs on your mixtapes, and I was like, yo, is there really a Young Boy fan out here?
That's all I listen to.
Dirty.
Yeah.
You got Ace. You got something, Ace?
Hey, man. You know I'm taking it, man. Who's the GOAT for you, man? Is it Mike or is it LeBron?
Jordan all day.
Oh, my God.
Smart man. Listen, man,
That's crazy.
we don't want to take too much of your time, man. So we just want to, again, thank you for coming on today, man. Obviously, it was a pleasure to meet you the other day, man. Obviously, we're going to be rooting for you here at All Facts Media, man. And obviously, hope you do big things at Texas with Chris Beard, and we know you will. And then, obviously, we'll be rooting for you the whole way, man.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I'm just going to keep working. But I got you. And then a couple of years ago, I was in D.C., and I feel like you guys were working out in that gym in Northeast. I was with Coach Doug and Malik. I forget the gym.
At Lamont?
Yeah, I think Lamont, yeah.
With Big Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah. It's a small world.
I remember that, yeah, because I came in there.
Bro. So Big Rick obviously is Rick Goins' father. So we know Rick, both of them for years, bro. Like when I was in high school, like I was under recruited, and Rick kind of helped me, you know what I'm saying, like blow up for real. Obviously kind of helped me get a couple offers in high school, and then we've kind of been locked in ever since, man. But Big Rick, we be going over there all the time, like playing pickup. But like we had a group chat with a bunch of guys from like we were 2014, so our class was like Marquise Reed, me, Drew, Andre Fox with the High Point, Rodney Pryor with the Georgetown would come through. We would all play pickup, like Markel Fultz, Ant Cowan, James Palmer. A lot of them dudes that were in our class would come through and play pickup. So we would all like work out together with Rick. So small world.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if you home in the summertime, man, we got to bring it back, man. Go to Lamont, get some shots up and get some run in, man. No cap.
Yeah, that's a bet.
Yes, man. Thanks again, man. Best of luck. And we'll keep in contact.
Okay, that's a bet. Thank you again.
No problem, bro.
No doubt, man.
All right.